Bienvenue sur la rivière des Outaouais. Aujourd'hui, on suit le courant le long de l'île Kettle, un secteur légendaire de la région. Nos guides sont des gens d'ici qui connaissent chaque recoin de la rive. Entre anecdotes historiques et pur plaisir de glisse, vous allez vite comprendre pourquoi la pagaie est l'âme de notre région. Allez, on se jette à l'eau!
Ça fait peut-être 5 ans que je suis dans la région de Gatineau, mais ça doit faire peut-être, je dirais 7-8 ans que je fais du kayak. J'étais dans la région de l'Anaudière avant, donc je faisais du kayak sur le fleuve Saint-Laurent, que c'est un beau fleuve, il y a souvent beaucoup de bateaux, quoi que ce soit. Donc pour avoir un paysage comme ça, il fallait que je monte peut-être au Mont-Tremblant ou au lac du Poisson-Blanc ou me déplacer pour ça ici. Avant, je faisais du canot camping, j'aimais bien. Mais à un moment donné, je m'apercevais que c'était peut-être plus difficile de peut-être trouver un partenaire pour faire du canot. Un kayak, tu peux faire ça en solitaire. J'ai un kayak de mer. Le kayak de mer, c'est un kayak qui est fait pour aller vite puis aller loin. Donc, je ne peux pas faire des petites rivières avec beaucoup de méandres, mais je peux faire comme ici, la rivière Outaouais, je peux faire des bonnes distances. Le courant ne m'affecte pas trop, disons.
J'ai commencé à faire du kayak dans mes années d'ado au Nouveau-Brunswick, parce que je suis originaire du Nouveau-Brunswick. Puis là, j'ai continué ici à faire... J'ai fait beaucoup de whitewater, du kayak de rivière, puis là, maintenant, c'est du kayak de mer. Ma petite de 10 ans en fait, puis c'est un beau sport, c'est un sport c'est relax, on a la place parfaite pour le faire en plus. Puis j'encouragerais les gens de commencer à pagayer. C'est un petit peu mieux qu'aller sur un bateau à moteur. Tu as le temps de voir le paysage, ça te donne l'exercice. Puis il y a toujours quelque chose de nouveau à apprendre.
J'ai commencé à faire du kayak à 4 ans, puis en fait, depuis longtemps. Là, j'ai 10 ans. Puis j'aime bien le kayak parce que ça pollue pas la planète, puis c'est relaxant, tu peux prendre des photos, tu peux faire du kayak course. C'est vraiment cool. J'avais une amie que je lui ai appris un peu comment faire, mais elle était pas très bonne, mais elle va pratiquer à un moment donné. Puis elle voulait faire du kayak comme du surf, là. C'est genre, t'essayes de... tu peux faire plein d'affaires. C'est comme du surf, genre. Puis c'est quand même petit, tout ça. Il y a plusieurs différents kayaks, des pagaies, puis il y a différentes grandeurs, genre des petits ou des grands, des longs, des épais.
La mer était à côté de chez nous, puis j'avais l'opportunité. On faisait beaucoup de sport sur la... Mes parents restent à 1 minute de l'océan. On avait beaucoup commencé à faire des activités sur la mer. Puis ça a juste resté avec moi. Puis en plus qu'ici, il y a beaucoup de cours d'eau. On a une des places au Canada qui a le plus de cours d'eau, que ce soit des rivières ou des lacs. C'est pour ça que j'aime mieux être dans l'eau qu'être sur un champ de golf, on va dire.
Moi, je demeure pas loin d'ici, de l'île Kettle. Donc, quand je viens toute seule, en solitaire, bien, c'est bien facile de faire le tour de l'île. Un beau paysage. Chaque saison, c'est différent. J'entends les oiseaux. Au printemps, je peux entendre les grues, l'oiseau, les grues, leur bruit qu'il fait. Il y a beaucoup d'oisillons, beaucoup des outardes, puis tout ça. Donc, c'est vraiment un bel endroit. Puis, un peu, d'abord, comme John disait, c'est un endroit protégé, parce que je pense que c'est assez unique. Car où ce que j'étais, dans la région de Montréal, c'est pas mal urbanisé, c'est pas mal bâti tout partout. Donc, c'est dur à trouver un bel endroit comme ça.
Les avantages, c'est sûr que c'est que te garder en forme physique. C'est un sport personnel aussi, parce que c'est vraiment, tu compétitionnes avec toi-même. Il y a plein de techniques différentes de pagaie que tu vas apprendre. Juste faire de l'esquimotage, ça, tu peux le faire l'hiver aussi dans les piscines. C'est une activité aussi qu'il y a beaucoup de groupes de kayakistes dans l'Outaouais. Ça te donne une chance de socialiser aussi. Puis c'est un sport que tu peux faire avec tes enfants, avec la famille. Pour moi, c'est une des raisons principales. Je veux que ma petite soit dans la nature. Puis ça donne la chance aussi justement d'être dans le plein air, de ne pas être enfermé en ville. Puis Ça, je pense que ça serait une des raisons principales.
Sur la santé, je dirais peut-être un peu le kayak, peut-être dans le sens qu'on travaille pas mal les abdominaux. Comme ça, peut-être, si je parle de la santé, je suis peut-être un peu plus droit. Je ne sais pas si c'est un bénéfice, parce que je m'en vais sur mes soirées 13 ans, puis je me trouve quand même assez bien. Puis je pense que le kayak, ça va m'aider pour ça ici, disons. Bien, absolument, je peux recommander ça parce qu'il y a beaucoup de kayaks pour les débutants qui sont peut-être plus larges, donc il y a moins de chances de chavirer, donc il va être beaucoup plus à l'aise que peut-être un kayak peut-être plus avancé, parce qu'il faut que tu sois capable de garder ton équilibre sur l'eau. Mais non, il y a beaucoup de kayaks, si tu veux, pour débutants, qui sont faits ici en plastique. Donc en plastique, c'est pas de problème, tu peux le traîner sur des roches ou quoi que ce soit, donc c'est pas obligé d'être aussi particulier. Puis oui, c'est un beau sport, puis c'est une bonne excuse pour être dehors au plein air, disons, puis respirer l'air frais. Moi, je le vois un peu comme ça.
I started my canoe journey last year, and I started from Gunnisadage, which is approximately 4 days down the river. Made my way up the river to Outaouais last year, and this journey that I started 2 years ago, I'm honoring our ancestors that used to travel these waters back in the day, and also to bring awareness on the devastation that is happening on our waterways and lakes, rivers, and streams. Last year, I wanted to try to make it all the way to northwestern Ontario, which is close to my reserve is close to the border of Ontario, Manitoba. So I wanted to just continue that journey. Probably I'm going to give myself maybe the next 5 years to complete and just do each part in segments. So last year I made from Gunnisadage to Ottawa. I stopped, and then this year I started from Ottawa and made my way up to Manawan, Ontario. And I stopped there for this year. This journey that I've taken on has really opened my eyes, and it's also opened up my spirit more to the relationship with water and how important water is to people. As much as the population's growing each and every year, you know, I'm also like to also bring awareness out about just respecting one another out on the waters. You know, you get a lot of these boats that come up and down. They don't. Some do. Some respect it, but others don't. But you know, like to just to get the word out that you know we need to share the waters with one another and just be in a respectful kind of a way. When I started this from Ottawa to Manawan, I started seeing a lot of devastation that's still continuing to go along the river. A lot of garbage being left behind. A lot of boat canisters, like a lot of dock debris. There's old tires. A lot of sewage from municipals coming up. You have to paddle by and you see all the sewage coming into the river. You know, oil canisters that I've seen dumped in the water. Huge piles of tires that are dumped in certain areas of the river. And you know, that's what I'm seeing a lot. The canoe journey is going to still continue. I'm going to try to do it next year from Manawa to Sault Ste. Marie. And I'll see after that on how I feel. If I want to continue it next year, I'll continue from Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay. It's a real life changer too, of actually coming out and doing these waters, because on Google Maps, and I found out quite a bit that Google Maps does not tell the truth. It really doesn't. Like these waters that we travel up and down are bigger than what actually Google Maps shows. And I've been finding out a lot out there, doing a lot of the paddling there too, of how massive these waters are. See, these guys respect us. They slow it right down. But you get other boats that don't, and they come real close and they go super fast. And they create a huge wake. I think it's got worse with the motorboats and these fancy pontoon boats that you're starting to see. And I find it's a little more, it's like a highway, you know, of boats, motors, and just a lot of noise out there too. I get quite a few people when I stop on the sides at docks for a lunch or for a break. I get, or even people out on the boats, they'll slow down. They'll say, "Where are you going?" And I'll tell them, and they're like, "Wow, that's quite the load you have there," you know, because my canoe is basically right down to the water where the rim is. It's about a good inch, and it's loaded right to the front to the back with all my supplies. So I get quite a good bit of conversation. Well, my journey is going to go into the 3rd year, and I'm still looking and hoping to have a canoe partner to come along with me on this journey. I do have people that do come out just for the day, you know, come out in canoe and or meet up and that's it. But so far, I've been doing this journey by myself, back to Northern Ontario. From Gunnesadage to Ottawa, to come up river, takes about 4 days. Okay. 5 days comfortably, I'd say about a week. So I did the canoe trip from Victoria Island back to Gunnesadage, and I did that in 4 days. But that was constant paddling. That was like 12 hours to 14 hours on the river. I think I wouldn't do that again. It's like downstream as well. Yeah, and it's downstream. Yeah, so you're twice. When you're coming up, I'd say put an extra half a day on there, because the currents in certain areas are pretty brutal. Like when I was coming up this area here, just along that edge here, I was in the middle of the river. And I looked over, and I looked over again about 5 minutes later, and it was the same dock that was right beside me. And I didn't realize that I was in a current and I wasn't going anywhere. And just up here too, in the spring, it's very dangerous to come up here because the water's high and the water's really moving. So it's guys like that, it really annoys me. Well, because they come so close and they got the whole river. We're in such a crazy world. Sometimes we forget that one teaching of, you know, patience and not to be in a rush. And even this year when I was doing the canoe trip, I had it put in my head is that this is not a race. You know, whatever happens, you know, or wherever you stop, that's where you're meant to stop, you know. Because I'm one of the type of that if I have a goal in a mind, if I want to be there, I got to be there, you know. And I think out here, doing a trip like that, even this year, I just said, you know what, I'll get there when I get there, you know. And so from last year to this year, and the enjoyment was a lot better.
Okay, angle your boat, Leah. So if you see little Leah just got swamped by a big cruiser there, but are you okay? This is exactly why we need a speed limit on the Ottawa River. On the Ottawa River, it's always good to have a spray skirt on just in case a big boat comes by. It's not gonna capsize you, but you might get some water over into your cockpit. So again, the best thing to do is just angle your boat at a 60-degree angle into the wave. See this guy coming towards us, not slowing down at all. That's an example of somebody that doesn't understand safe boating. And these are the kinds of people that we have to, get a calm, have a calm waterway. Oh, there you go. He's slowing down finally. Okay, good. So if you want to feel what it was like to live in this beautiful, idyllic spot at the confluence of the Gatineau and Ottawa River, just down from the Rideau River, the best place to go now is to Duval Point, which we're heading to right now on Kettle Island. And that's the easternmost point of Kettle Island, the third largest island in the Ottawa River, which stretches about 4.5 kilometers long, and which is an amazing place to paddle around. As a paddling island, this island 100 years ago, they used to have races around the island by canoe, and we still have races around the island at the Ottawa New Edinburgh Club, but they do it by rowing shell, which is another popular form of paddling in the area. Rowers used to be even more plentiful than canoers about a century ago, because they had the Ottawa Rowing Club, and they had all the workers that were navigating for the logging industry. Across the way there in that boathouse, which is the NCC River House, which used to be the Ottawa New Edinburgh Club's boathouse, built in 1923, they had the Ottawa Canoe Club that operated out of that. They merged with the New Edinburgh Club, and they had war canoeing in this district. So this area was always like a recreation zone, a tranquil recreation zone. It was an escape from the downtown of Hull and Ottawa. The members of that club, which included Sir Wilfrid Laurier, but also Soper and McEachern, they actually brought in a trolley from downtown Ottawa to transport people to the clubhouse that they were a member of. And if you look at the old archival photos, you'll see that they had swimming, tower diving, sailing, canoeing, and rowing, all from that club, because this section of the river is very much like a small lake, and which makes it a very special retreat for many of the downtown people. I really think Kettle Island for paddlers is an undiscovered gem in the heart of our city. It's pretty wild here, but it's a wild island. It's where animals migrate between the two sides of the river. It's where deer in the wintertime will give birth, and where the wolves and coyotes will follow them, and you can often see deer kills all around this region. Essentially, it and combined with the Duck Islands, Upper Duck Island and Lower Duck Island, form a land bridge or a nature corridor between the two sides that connects Gatineau Park to the bike trails that come down from it with Greens Creek that stretches up into Mer Bleu and the Greenbelt. After the lumber trade ended in this region, paddling became more popular again. The logging era kind of hindered paddlers from enjoying the river as much as they could have because the logs were an obstruction, especially for rowers. I remember when I started rowing in the 90s, about 8 years after the logging era ended, and just trying to avoid all the deadheads and logs floating around. Nowadays, they're sort of been swept down river to where they've been collected at the Carillon Dam and thrown in a big pile. So there's fewer than there are. So it's the best time to be a paddler in the Ottawa region since the logging era started, actually. So we have the city of Gatineau has created a recreation plan, which I helped to consult on, to develop the Ottawa River as a paddling destination. Before the NCC was promoting it as a motorboat destination, but my rationale was like, come on guys, like the heritage here has always been paddling and rowing. So we have to take back our river and enjoy it. And if we don't, we potentially could lose it. So get out, enjoy it, use it or lose it. Kettle Island is one of the best places in the Ottawa River to enjoy within a stone's throw of where you live in downtown Ottawa or Gatineau. And there's always people you can invite to join you on a paddle on Facebook. Bernard started up Kayak Outaouais for Gatineau, and it's a group of a few thousand, and they go out on paddles all the time. But there's also other Facebook groups out there for paddlers as well. Ottawa Paddlers is another group. The thing about kayaking that I love as far as an activity goes is the muscle development in your back muscles is really good. And so your back and triceps and even your core, your lower back and your stomach muscles and your lats, all of that is strengthened. And it complements canoe paddling as well, which also helps those muscles, but in a slightly different way. I find with canoe paddling with the J-stroke, it really helps your rotator cuff repair, because I know that because I busted both my shoulders in skiing. And to rehab, I looked at the exercises my physiotherapist gave me, and I thought, I don't think I can possibly do these in a gym, and gyms are just too boring. So I just applied paddling and rowing, and paddling canoes, paddling kayaks and rowing to redevelop the muscles of my shoulder. And my shoulders are nearly 100% in terms of range of motion. And my physiotherapist said, geez, if you told me you were going to do all that, I would have said, yeah, just do that instead of the exercises. So that shows you how great paddling is. It's the perfect sport for shoulders as well. If you got any shoulder pain or muscle imbalances in your shoulders, definitely kayaking, canoeing, and rowing are all sports that are really gentle on redeveloping that muscle, strengthening it up, and making sure that you get your range of motion as well. It is funny how many people who are born and raised here don't paddle or kayak on the Ottawa River. I think it was something that when they grew up, there was a lot of logging, so they're not used to it, the idea of paddling and enjoying a water experience like kayaking or canoeing, because that wasn't available when they were younger. And when you look at the way the city's developed, it's almost like they turned their back on the waterfront. So it's something that they're only rediscovering it through advocacy, people who are trying to promote the interests of boaters of all kinds, because even motorboaters are interested in trying to protect the river from excessive boat wakes and out of control behaviors. Well, the behaviors, the kind of boating behaviors you want to watch out for on the Ottawa River, and I don't want to deter people from paddling here, are people who are, the jet skiers who can sometimes be wake hopping, some of the big motorboaters who blast too close to you, creating big boat wakes. So it is important, if you're going to paddle along here, to understand how to react to different kinds of wave conditions, self-rescue and such. Mind you, I've never had to do self-rescue on the river, because if you know how to approach a boat wake at an angle rather than directly into it, then you should be okay. Always wear your spray skirt, have your bailers, and wear your life jacket, that sort of thing. You should be okay. I've never had a flip because of a boat wake, but I'm just kind of concerned that it is possible if you're not watching out and if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, back paddle, Al. Just Al. There we go. That brought us in. Oh, look at you, Leah. I'll pull you up. Haha. Look at that. Talk about